this final of Mastermind India, we have a business executive on the life and works of Stephen Hawking, a website editor on women Nobel laureates, an advertising executive on the political career of C. Rajagopalachari, and a civil servant on the complete Yes Prime Minister series. Hello and welcome to Mastermind India on BBC World. It is the culminating moment of this year's contest, a moment we've been leading up to for months. It is the final of our nationwide quiz contest. And in this final reckoning, we're going to decide just who will become the first mastermind of the millennium. Our search began in May this year with 1,500 aspirants from as many as 150 towns and cities from all over the country. A written test was held simultaneously at 20 centers spread throughout the country, and it's those who notched up the top scores in that test, who comprised the 64 who made it to the rounds that we recorded for television. This year we've seen some very challenging subjects, excellent scores, and closely contested rounds. After running the gauntlet and proving their spurs, it's the 4 top contenders who fought their way to this final, and it's they who will be laying their claim for the title of Mastermind India. And this time it's going to be a truly battle royal in this right regal setting of the Marwar Hall of the magnificent Umaid Bhavan Palace in Jodhpur in the west of India. The palace was built between 1920 and 1943 on Chittar Hill, spread over 25 acres as one of the largest private residences in the world. It was commissioned by Maharaja Umaid Singh of Jodhpur, head of the Rathore clan of Rajputs. For 5 centuries, Jodhpur was the capital of the desert principality of Marwar, the largest state of Rajputana, covering an area of over 92,000 square kilometers. The capital was named after Rao Jodha, who founded the city here in 1459, centered on a steep and seemingly impregnable rock on whose commanding heights the Mehrangarh fort was built. There's more than half a millennium of history within the ramparts of this citadel of the sun. On a neighboring hill is the more recently wrought Jaswantada, with a shrine at the Devkund and royal cenotaphs. In a resurgent phase at the beginning of the 20th century, Maharaja Umaid Singh strove to make Jodhpur a model state. It was his decision to build a palace as a measure to provide employment when the kingdom was beset by a drought for 3 successive years. It was designed by a British architect, Henry Vaughan Lanchester, combining elements of stately and civic architecture with strong Art Deco influences. This awesome building of buff sandstone has 347 rooms. It includes 8 dining rooms and a banqueting hall. The domed central hall rises to 190 feet, and deep in the basement nestles a swimming pool. There are rooms and suites for princes and commoners. A museum within showcases choice objects and furniture obtained from distant corners of the world to equip the palace. While part of the palace now houses the residence of the heir of the House of Jodhpur, the Umaid Bhavan Palace today is one of the grand heritage hotels of the world. We are at the Marwar Hall within the palace, and this is the arena for our final countdown to the title. I am gratified to have in our midst our host, Maharaja Gat Singh II, the former ruler of Jodhpur. Crowned at the age of 4 when he lost his father in a tragic air accident, Bapji, as he is affectionately known, has, in Republican times, extended his traditional role with substantial initiatives in the areas of tourism, heritage conservation, education, social welfare, and international diplomacy. Thank you, sir, for opening your house to us and for joining us together with members of your family and staff on this occasion. And now it gives me the greatest pleasure to welcome our guest of honor for this event, a person who has become synonymous with a commitment to excellence in her chosen fields, Kiran Bedi. She has been an Asian tennis champion, holds a degree in law, and has a doctorate on the subject of drug abuse and domestic violence. She is the first woman to join the Indian Police Service, and her humane and fearless approach has led to innumerable police and prison reforms. Among various international honors that have been bestowed on her is the prestigious Ramon Magsaysay Award for Governmental Service. Madam Bedi, your presence here is inspiring, and we are indeed honored that it is you who will be giving away the trophy to its eventual claimant. This silver trophy, engraved with the Tree of Knowledge and Life in the Vijayanagar tradition, will become the permanent possession of the victor, signifying the title of Mastermind India. Vying for that trophy are our 4 title contenders, poised and primed for the last lap. Here's what they had to say shortly before their hour of reckoning.
I've always loved quizzing. Having watched the original Mastermind on BBC, 2 minutes in the spotlight, on the black chair, Magnus Magnuson quizzing hardened quizzers on their choice of subject. There's no high like that for me. This for me is thoroughbred quizzing.
I remember watching the previous year's series of Mastermind India with a good deal of interest. Some of my friends were participating, and I thought, well, it might be fun for me to try. Here I am. It's been a very memorable experience so far, and I hope the final round will be even better.
What does it feel like to sit in the black chair? All I can say is, if the question was, do you think we are alone in the universe? I'd say I don't know about we, but I certainly feel like I am. I mean, Hercules' 12 tasks were nothing compared to this task.
Probably what makes it different from other quiz programs is the speed. It's a mental equivalent of a Western gunfight. You have to be accurate and you have to be very fast also.
Those were our 4 challengers. In contention is the much coveted title of the first Mastermind of the millennium. It promises to be an absorbing battle. We'll be commencing quizzing after a very short break. I wouldn't miss it for anything. Do stay with us till then. Welcome back to Mastermind India. Our preambles and preliminaries are at an end. We are ready to begin quizzing in earnest. And so may I now call upon our first contender, please. Your name?
Jai Jhende,
Occupation?
business executive.
What subject have you chosen for this final?
The life and works of Professor Stephen Hawking.
Jai Jhende, if you're ready, we'll start your set of questions on your chosen area, starting now. What is the only equation in a brief history of time?
E is equal to mc square.
Correct. Of which actress did Hawking say, I suppose you could say she was the model of the universe?
Greta Garbo.
No, it's Marilyn Monroe. What is the full form of ALS, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease, from which he was suffering?
Amyotrophic lateral sclerosis.
Correct. On whose 300th death anniversary was Stephen Hawking born?
Galileo.
Correct. For traveling to which country did the Hawkings buy a Ford Consul for £50?
India.
Correct. To which Hertfordshire city did the Hawkings move in 1950 after leaving Highgate?
St. Albans.
Correct. For which public school was Stephen entered when he fell ill on the day of the entrance examination?
Westminster.
Correct. What was the full form of LUCE, loose, the computer Hawking designed in his last year in school?
Logical Unicellular Computing Engine.
Correct. Which computer engineer designed a miniature voice synthesizer for Hawking's wheelchair?
Mason.
Correct. What rank did Hawking hold in the signals section of the combined cadet force?
Lance Corporal.
Correct. Which university college rowing club coach assigned Hawking as cox in the second 8 boat?
Norman Dix.
Correct. Who was Hawking's supervisor when he arrived at Cambridge in 1962?
Dennis Kiama.
Correct. Which graduate student assigned to Fred Hoyle shared his equations with Hawking at Cambridge?
Narlikar.
Correct. Other than Skiyama, which mathematician gave Hawking a reference for a fellowship at Keys?
Herman Bondi.
Correct. In which college's chapel did Hawking marry Jane Wilde?
Trinity Hall.
Correct. Which Austrian-born philosopher influenced Hawking's belief that positivism should have no place in science?
Karl Popper.
Correct. In 1970, who was Hawking's partner in giving a practical mathematical definition of a black hole horizon?
Roger Penrose.
Correct. In a famous bet, what did Hawking offer Kip Thorne if Cygnus X1 did not contain a black hole?
Year's subscription to Penthouse.
Correct. What essay did Hawking write to win a competition organized by the Gravity Research Foundation?
Black holes are not black.
Correct. In 1973, which Princeton researcher's theories did Hawking attack in the essay 4 Laws of Black Hole Mechanics?
Lind.
No, it's Jacob Bekenstein. In 1974, where was Hawking invited to spend a research year funded by the Sherman Fairchild Scholarship?
Caltech.
Correct. In 1979, which Cambridge chair once held by Newton went to Hawking?
Lucasian.
Correct. What is produced by the interplay of quantum effects and gravity at the horizon surrounding black holes?
Hawking radiation.
Correct. What was the title of the lecture Hawking delivered at the Lucasian inauguration?
At the end of theoretical physics.
Correct. Which program did the BBC broadcast in January? I've started, so I'll finish. Which program did the BBC broadcast in January 1977 on Hawking's life and work?
The Key to the Universe.
It's correct. And at the end of your allotted time, Jai Jhende, I find you've scored 23 points with no passes. Thank you very much. May I now call upon our second contender, please. Your name?
K.E. Priyamvada,
Occupation?
copy editor.
What subject have you chosen for this final?
Women Nobel laureates.
K. Priyamvada, if you're ready, we'll start your set of questions on your chosen area starting now. Where was Aung San Suu Kyi's mother, Kim Chi, appointed ambassador in 1960?
India,
Correct. In 1905, who became the second woman to win a Nobel Prize in any field?
pass.
Who was the first woman to win the Nobel for Literature in 1909?
Selma Lagerlof,
Correct. In 1898, what discovery did the Curies announce in the paper on a new radioactive substance contained in pitchblende?
polonium and radium.
Correct. Which former ambassador to India won the Nehru Award in 1981 and the Nobel Peace Prize the next year?
Alva Myrdal,
Correct. Name the first woman to win a Nobel in physiology or medicine without sharing it with any man in 1983?
Barbara McClintock,
Correct. Which peace laureate's brother was tortured by a Guatemalan military death squad in 1979?
Rigoberta Menchú,
Correct. Which 1938 literature laureate wrote 5 novels under the name John Sedges?
Pearl Buck,
Correct. In 1936, which chemistry laureate served as France's Undersecretary of State for Scientific Research?
Irene Joliot-Curie,
Correct. Which future literature laureate fled from Germany to Sweden to escape a Nazi labor camp?
Nelly Sack,
Correct. Born Chloe Anthony Wofford, who won the Literature Award in 1993?
Toni Morrison,
Correct. Who shared the Physics Award with Wigner and Jensen for research on the nucleus in 1963?
Maria Goeppert Mayer,
Correct. Which author of the trilogy Kristen Lavransdatter won the Literature Award in 1928?
Sigrid Undset,
Correct. Which future laureate co-authored After the Guns Fall Silent, The Enduring Legacy of Landmines?
Jody Williams,
Correct. Which 1986 medicine laureate's autobiography was In Praise of Imperfection?
Rita Levi-Montalcini,
Correct. Which Italian literature laureate's works included La Madre and Elias Portolu?
Grazia Deledda,
Correct. Which 1991 laureate collaborated with photographer David Goldblatt on 2 books about apartheid?
Nadine Gordimer,
Correct. Who shared the Nobel in Medicine with Shally and Guillemin in 1977?
pass.
Name the Chicago Settlement House co-founded by Jane Addams, the Peace Laureate of 1931.
Hull House,
Correct. Born Lucila Godoy Alcayaga, which Chilean poetess won the Literature Award in 1945?
Gabriela Mistral,
Correct. Whose study of the structure of vitamin B12 brought her a Chemistry Award in 1964?
Dorothy Hodgkin,
Correct. Whose research on early embryonic development earned her a Shared Medicine Award in 1995?
Christian Volhard,
Correct. Which 1996 laureate wrote poems for the Polish anti-communist movement under the pseudonym Stanchikona? You can take that?
Wisława Szymborska,
Is correct. And at the end of your allotted time, Priyamvada, I find you've scored 21 points with 2 passes. I'll give you the answers to the questions you passed. It was Rosalind Yallow who shared the Nobel in Medicine with Shally and Guillemin in 1977. Her maiden name was Sussman. And in 1905, the person who became the second woman to win a Nobel Prize in any field was Baroness Bertha von Suttner. K. Priyamvada, thank you very much. And now may I call upon our third contender, please. Your name,
Ali Imran,
occupation,
advertising executive.
what subject have you chosen for this final?
The political career of C. Rajagopalachari.
Ali Imran, if you're ready, we'll start your set of questions on your chosen area of specialization, starting now. Who did Rajaji swear in as first Chief Minister of West Bengal after becoming the governor of the state?
P.C. Ghosh.
Correct. In his first speech to the Madras Assembly in April 1952, whom did Rajaji describe as enemy number 1?
The communists.
Correct. On 15 July 1950, what position did Rajaji accept in Jawaharlal Nehru's cabinet?
Minister without portfolio.
Correct. To whom did Rajaji write on 12th September 1948, I hope your exalted highness will not disregard my advice?
The Nizam of Hyderabad.
Correct. Where was the Congress session held in 1908 when Rajaji was refused entry by the moderates?
Calcutta.
No, it's Madras. In 1913, to whom did Rajaji give 1,500 rupees to send to Mahatma Gandhi in South Africa?
Gokhale.
Correct. Which poetess presided over the Madras Provincial Conference in May 1918 when Rajaji clashed with Annie Besant?
Sarojini Naidu.
Correct. In May 1917, which governor of Madras did Rajaji criticize in a letter to the Hindu?
Erskine.
No, it's Lord Pentland. In September 1918, which orator did Rajaji defend against charges of sedition at his trial in Madurai?
Varadarajulu Naidu.
Correct. In February 1921, which Khilafat leader accompanied Rajaji on a visit to the Moplas of Malabar?
Shaukat Ali.
No, it's Yaqub Hussain. Where did Rajaji address a public meeting on 14 December 1921, leading to his first imprisonment?
Trichy?
No, it's Vellore. In which village near Salem did Rajaji and Jamnalal Bajaj start their Khadi promotion tour in January 1924?
Pudupadyam.
Correct. In 1927, which Diwan of Mysore assured Rajaji that the state's employees were free to wear Khadi?
Mirza Ismail.
Correct. Which Briton did Rajaji succeed as Honorary General Secretary of the Prohibition League of India in 1928?
Herbert Anderson.
Correct. Which Tamil magazine did Rajaji bring out in 1929 as part of his fight against liquor?
Vimochanam.
Correct. At which salt swamp near Vedaranyam did Rajaji break the salt law on 30th April 1930?
Vedaranyam.
No, it's Edanthevar. To which temple in Travancore did Rajaji lead 40 Dalit boys in November 1936?
Pass.
From which constituency was Rajaji elected to the Madras legislature in 1937?
Vellore.
No, it's university or graduates. On 7 July 1937, which governor of Madras asked Rajaji to form a government?
Erskine.
Correct. What item did Rajaji add to the prison diet in his first measure as Premier of Madras?
Buttermilk.
Correct. In November 1937, which socialist from Bombay did Rajaji's ministry imprison for inciting violence in Vellore?
Bartlewala.
Is correct. I'll accept that. And at the end of your allotted time, Ali Imran, I find you've scored 14 points with one pass. I'll give you the answer to the question you passed. It was the Sri Padmanabha Swami temple at Travancore, to which Rajaji led 40 Dalit boys in November 1936. Ali Imran, thank you very much. And now may I call upon our fourth contender, please. Your name,
TK Manoj Kumar,
occupation,
civil servant,
what subject have you chosen for this final?
the complete Yes Prime Minister series.
TK Manoj Kumar, if you're ready, we'll start your set of questions on your chosen area of specialization starting now. Who was Hacker's special political advisor when he first became a minister?
Frank Weissel,
Correct. What was Sir Frederick Stewart, permanent secretary at the Foreign Office, nicknamed?
Jumbo,
Correct. What cabinet post did Hacker describe as 8th or 9th in ranking?
DAA, Administrative
Correct.
Affairs,
Where did Sir Humphrey Appleby spend his last days after retirement?
St. Dimton's Home for the Elderly Deranged,
Correct. Which post, according to Bernard Woolley, was known as Mr. Killjoy in Whitehall lingo?
pass.
For which TV program did Godfrey Finch interview Hacker in the middle of the Big Brother computer privacy controversy?
The World in Focus,
Correct. What did Morris, the EEC Agricultural Commissioner in Brussels, propose to rename the British sausage?
the emulsified high offal fat tube,
I'll accept that. Who was the bursar of Bailey College, alma mater to Humphrey Appleby and Arnold Robinson?
Christopher Venables,
Correct. Where in Warwickshire did Lucy propose to stage a nude protest to save endangered badgers?
Hayward Spinning,
Correct. Which of Prime Minister Hacker's staff won a DSO at Arnhem during the Second World War?
Isaac Rosenblum,
Correct. Whose office did Sir Humphrey turn into a waiting room, banishing her next to the photocopier room?
Dorothy Wainwright,
Correct. Name the memoirs that Dorothy Wainwright wrote about her years at number 10 Downing Street.
the Prime Minister's year,
Correct. What article did Hacker write in Reform about the sale of British weapons to undesirable foreigners?
pass.
What was Buranda called before it achieved independence?
British Equatorial Africa,
Correct. Name the memoirs written by Sir Wally Macfarlane, chairman of the British Chemical Corporation.
pass.
In which bank did Sir Desmond Glazebrook serve before becoming governor of the Bank of England?
Barclays Bank,
Correct. At which sporting venue did Employment Secretary Dudley Belling come up with the idea of defense relocation?
the Covent Garden,
No, it's Centre Court, Wimbledon. Who served as Israeli ambassador at the court of St. James when Hacker was the prime minister?
David Billou,
Correct. According to David Billou, which island in the Arabian Sea was East Yemen all set to invade?
St. George's,
Correct. Which chemical compound was the subject of the Henderson Committee report?
propanol,
Correct. Which civil servant was permanent secretary of the Foreign Office when Hacker was prime minister?
Dick Wharton,
Correct. Where had Hacker and Charlie Umtali studied together?
LSE,
Correct. Who was the head of MI5 during Hacker's prime ministership?
Jeffrey Halstead,
No, it's Jeffrey Hastings. Which Minister of State for Health proposed a 5-step plan to cut smoking by 80%?
Peter Thorne,
Correct. In which city was Leslie Potts' constituency home to several tobacco firms? You can take that.
Nottingham,
Is correct. And at the end of your allotted time, TK Manoj Kumar, I find you've scored 20 points with 3 passes. I'll give you the answers to the questions you've passed. The memoirs written by Sir Wally Macfarlane, chairman of the British Chemical Corporation, was Steal Yourself. The article that Hacker wrote in Reform about the sale of British weapons to undesirable foreigners was The Dreadful Trade, and the post, according to Bernard Woolley, which was known as Mr. Killjoy in Whitehall lingo, was the Chancellor of the Exchequer. T.K. Manoj Kumar, thank you very much. And with that, we've already completed the opening round of this final of Mastermind India. We've had some very brisk and bright scoring over there. To take a look at the relative positions, let's turn to the scoreboard. In fourth place with 14 points is the advertising executive. In third place with 20 points is the civil servant. In second place with 21 points is the website editor. But leading the contest at this stage with a score of 23 points is the business executive from Delhi, Jai Jende. After that eventful opening round in which we have three contenders running pretty much neck and neck, we are all set for a cliffhanger of our contest in the general knowledge round. We'll conduct that round, which will be the decider after a very short break. Do join us then. Welcome back to the Marwar Hall at the magnificent Umaid Bhavan Palace in Jodhpur. We are conducting the final of Mastermind India. We're already through with the opening round. We've seen some very fine performances indeed, with the top three contenders running pretty much neck and neck. It's all down to the general knowledge round. At the end of this round, we'll find out just who will be the first mastermind of the millennium. As is customary on this contest, we'll call upon the contenders in the ascending order of the scores that they achieved in the opening round. And so may I now call upon the contender who's at present in fourth place, please. Ali Imran, in your opening round, your specialized subject was the political career of C. Rajagopalachari, with which you scored 14 points with 1 pass. If you're ready, we'll start your set of general knowledge questions now. To which family of animals does the dhole found in Indian jungles belong?
Deer?
No, it's dog. What does the A stand for in the disease AIDS?
Acquired.
Correct. Who was the Republican candidate for US Vice President in the year 2000?
Dick Cheney.
Correct. Who sailed to India from Lisbon on 8 July 1497, captaining the Sao Gabriel, Sao Rafael, and Berrio?
Vasco da Gama.
Correct. Which congressman became Chief Minister of Maharashtra as head of a coalition government in 1999?
Shivaji Rao Deshmukh.
Can't accept that. It's Vilas Rao Deshmukh. Which collection of fables means 5 chapters in Sanskrit?
Panchtantra.
Correct. Which section of the Indian Penal Code deals with cheating and dishonestly inducing delivery of property?
420.
Correct. To protect which of his devotees did Vishnu assume the Narsimha avatar?
Pass.
Which Dalit leader from Bihar was India's defense minister during the Bangladesh War in 1971?
Jagjeevan Ram.
Correct. Which Indian Olympic medalist is married to the Haryana weightlifter Rajesh Tyagi?
Maleshwari.
Correct. Which god taught Bharat Muni the principles of dance codified in his Natya Shastra?
Shiva.
Correct. In which category did Gao Xingjian win a Nobel Prize in the year 2000?
Literature.
Correct. Which athlete from Bengal won gold medals in the 1500 and 3000 meter races in the 1998 Asian Games?
Binamal.
No, it's Jyotirmay Sikdar. Which future president of India served as Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh from 1962 to 1964?
Sanjeeva Reddy.
Correct. In Egyptian myth, who was the wife of Osiris and the mother of Horus?
Isis.
Correct. Which is the smallest of the 9 known planets in the solar system?
Pluto.
Correct. What hot condiment is named after a Mexican province?
Chili.
No, it's Tabasco. After which biblical character are both the largest frog and the heaviest insect in the world named?
Methuselah.
No, it's Goliath. Which Arab nation is ruled by the Al-Sabah dynasty?
Kuwait.
Correct. At which 1,000-year-old temple complex in India will you find the Khandaria Mahadev temple?
Konark.
No, it's Khajuraho. On which island did Napoleon die?
St. Helena.
Correct. Which term often used in Indian classical music comes from the Sanskrit word meaning color or passion?
Rag.
Beg pardon?
Rag.
Correct. In which Indian state is the hill station Dalhousie located?
Himachal Pradesh.
Correct. Which Indian dancer choreographer, I've started so I'll finish. Which Indian dancer choreographer created the ballet Lanka Dahan using wooden masks from Ceylon?
Uday Shankar.
Is correct. And at the end of your allotted time, Ali Imran, I find you've scored 31 points with 2 passes. I beg your pardon, just 1 pass in the general knowledge round. I'll give you the answer to the question you passed. It was to protect Prahlad that Vishnu assumed the Narsimha avatar. Ali Imran, thank you very much. Now may I call upon our next contender, please. TK Manoj Kumar, in your opening round, your specialized subject was the complete Yes Prime Minister series, in which you scored 20 points with 3 passes. If you're ready, we'll start your set of specialized questions now. In 1998, who succeeded Bhairav Singh Shekhawat as Chief Minister of Rajasthan?
Gehlot,
Correct. In which city is the headquarters of the Reserve Bank of India?
Bombay,
Correct. How is the entertainer Sherilyn Sarkisian Lapierre better known?
pass.
Who, along with Nathuram Godse, was hanged for his part in Mahatma Gandhi's assassination?
Apte,
Correct. At which venue in London was Priyanka Chopra crowned Miss World 2000?
the Millennium Dome,
Correct. Where in Rajasthan is an annual camel fair held in the month of Kartik?
Pushkar,
Correct. Which was the last imperial dynasty to rule China?
the Mings,
No, it's the Qing or Manchu. Which wandering tribes speak the dialects collectively referred to as Romani?
the Gypsies,
Correct. Which new capital of an Indian state was founded by Rai Brahmadev of the Ratnapur dynasty in the 14th century?
Raipur,
Correct. Who was the chief of staff of the Indian army at the time of the Kargil conflict in 1999?
Malik,
Correct. Which of the ancient 7 wonders was supposedly built by Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon?
Hanging Gardens,
Correct. Which Trinidadian wrote A Wounded Civilization and A Million Mutinies Now about his travels in India?
Naipaul,
Correct. With which former Beatle did Michael Jackson sing the duet This Girl Is Mine in the album Thriller?
Ringo Starr,
No, it's Paul McCartney. Who received the Bharat Ratna along with Rajaji and Dr. Radhakrishnan in 1955?
Jawaharlal Nehru,
No, it's Dr. C.V. Raman. Which former law minister wrote Big Egos, Small Men?
Ram Jethmalani,
Correct. Which nation's chief domestic cricket competition is the Busta Cup Series?
West Indies,
Correct. Which theosophist and freedom fighter founded the Central Hindu School in Varanasi?
Annie Besant,
Correct. Name the mosque official whose duty is to call the faithful to prayer every day?
Muezzin,
Correct. In 1994, which former champion set up a badminton academy in Bangalore along with Vimal Kumar?
Prakash Padukone,
Correct. Which is Shakespeare's longest play?
As You Like It,
No, it's Hamlet. Who led the Rajput Confederacy defeated by Babur at the Battle of Kanwa in 1527?
Rana Sanga,
Correct. Which martial act star made his debut as an actor in the 1979 film Drunken Master?
Jackie Chan,
Correct. Which political party was founded at the Gwalior Tank Maidan, Bombay in 1885?
RSS,
No, it's the Congress. Which luxury car division of General Motors is named after the founder of the city of Detroit?
Chrysler,
No, it's Cadillac. And that is time. At the end of your allotted time for general knowledge, TK Manoj Kumar, I find you've scored 37 points with 4 passes. I'll give you the answer to the question you passed. The entertainer Sherilyn Sarkisian Lapierre is better known as Cher. TK Manoj Kumar, thank you very much. May I now call upon our next contender, please. K. Priyamvada, in your opening round, your chosen area of specialization was Women Nobel Laureates, with which you scored 21 points and 2 passes. If you're ready, we'll start your set of general knowledge questions now. Who is credited with the invention of dynamite in 1867?
Alfred Nobel.
Correct. Which sage brought Ganga from heaven to earth by his penance?
Vashishta.
No, it's Bhagirath. Which Oscar-winning 1965 musical is set in and around the Austrian city of Salzburg?
The Sound of Music.
Correct. Who is the first chief minister of Chhattisgarh?
Ajit Jogi.
Correct. Which is the largest island in Bombay Harbour?
Elephanta.
Correct. Other than Azharuddin, who was banned for life by the BCCI?
Ajay Sharma.
Correct. Which president of the United States authorized dropping the atom bomb on Hiroshima?
Truman.
Correct. Which king of Judea ordered the slaughter of all infants in Bethlehem in a bid to kill the baby Jesus?
Pontius Pilate.
No, it's Herod. Who became the first communist chief minister of Kerala in 1957?
EMS Nambudripal.
Correct. In which television comedy did the characters Hawkeye Pierce, Radar O'Reilly, and Hot Lips Howlihan appear?
MASH.
Correct. In 1994, which Everest summiteer led an all-women rafting expedition from Haridwar to Calcutta?
Bechandripal.
Correct. Which ancient poem did Mahatma Gandhi refer to as a spiritual dictionary?
The Bhagavad Gita.
Correct. Which romantic 1970 novel begins with the line, "What can you say about a 25-year-old girl who died?"
Pass.
Which country won the Women's Soccer World Cup in 1999?
The United States.
Correct. What pen name was adopted by Dhanpat Rai Srivastava when he wrote Godan, Karmabhumi, and Rangabhumi?
Premchand.
Correct. Which American state is represented by the postal abbreviation CA?
California.
Correct. Which Sikh guru's writings are collected in the Dasham Granth?
Guru Gobind Singh.
Correct. Which rock group's first album was Pipers at the Gate of Dawn?
Pink Floyd.
Correct. Who is the oldest man to go into space flying aboard USS Discovery in 1998?
John Glenn.
Correct. Who wrote the book Schindler's Ark?
Thomas Kennelly.
Correct. Which prime minister was born in Hardanahalli village in Karnataka?
Devi Gowda.
Correct. Which part of the eye has the same name as the Greek goddess of the rainbow?
Iris.
Correct. Which Caribbean Commonwealth nation was invaded by the United States on 25th October 1983?
Grenada.
Correct. Which commission of inquiry was set up on 9th May 1977 to inquire into excesses committed during the emergency?
Pass.
Which Sanskrit word meaning accomplished signifies an ascetic or holy man?
Jinnah.
No, it's sadhu. Which Punjabi poetess wrote Aj Akha Waris Shanu while fleeing from Pakistan to India in 1947?
Amrita Pritam.
Correct. Which German brand is named because Adolf Hitler demanded a people's car? You can take that.
Volkswagen.
Volkswagen is correct. And at the end of your allotted time for general knowledge questions, K. Priyambada, I find you've scored 43 points with 4 passes. I'll give you the answers to the questions you've passed. The commission of inquiry that was set up on 9th May 1977 to inquire into excesses committed during the emergency was the Shah Commission. And the romantic 1970 novel, which begins with the line, "What can you say about a 25-year-old girl who died?" was Love Story. K. Priyambada, thank you very much. And now may I call upon our 4th and final contender, please. Jai Jhende, in your opening round, your specialized subject was the life and work of Stephen Hawking, with which you scored 23 points and no passes. The score you have to emulate now to be able to win this round is 43. Jai Jhende, best of luck. If you're ready, we'll start your set of general knowledge questions now. Whose portrait appears on the newly introduced 1,000 rupee note?
Nehru.
No, it's Mahatma Gandhi. Which hill station was the summer capital of the United Provinces, now Uttar Pradesh, in British days?
Shimla.
No, it's Nainital. Which Jain sect dates back to the time when Stulabhadra allowed monks to wear white robes?
Shwetambar.
Correct. Which cricket team won a record 12th consecutive test match on 3rd December 2000?
Australia.
Correct. Which future president, then a journalist, won a Tata Scholarship to the London School of Economics in 1945?
Kennedy.
K.R. Narayanan. Which lost city was discovered by the French naturalist A.H. Muho in Cambodia?
Phnom Penh. Oh, sorry, Angkor Wat. Angkor Wat.
I'll accept that. It's actually Angkor Thom. Which poetess's works are collected in the books The Sceptred Flute and The Feather of the Dawn?
Suchi.
No, it's Sarojini Naidu. In which European city will the Summer Olympics be held in 2004?
Tokyo.
No, European city. It's Athens. Who wrote Lorna Doone?
MMK.
No, it's R.D. Blackmore. In which New York skyscraper did terrorists explode a bomb on 26 February 1993?
World Trade Center.
Correct. In which Indian state is Babulal Marandi the chief minister?
Jharkhand.
Correct. Which drum is coated with a mixture of rice, manganese, and iron, a combination called marunda in Tamil?
Pongal.
No, it's Mridangam. Against which king did the East India Company wage the 3rd and 4th Anglo-Mysore Wars?
Tipu Sultan.
Correct. In the world of cartoons, which group consisted of disciples of the mutant rat Splinter?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Correct. Which American president is associated with the phrase, "Read my lips, no new taxes"?
George Bush.
Correct. Which squash player won the National Women's Championship 16 years in a row from 1977 to 92 in India?
Daruwala.
No, it's Bhuvaneshwari Kumari. In which Indian state is the Siriska Tiger Reserve located?
MP.
No, it's Rajasthan. In 1987, who directed the film Nayagan, inspired by the life of Varadarajan Mudaliar?
Maniratnam.
Correct. In which city did members of the cult Om Shinrikyo place canisters of nerve gas on the subway in 1995?
Tokyo.
Correct. Which swimmer, nicknamed the Flying Dutchman, won the 200-meter freestyle at the Sydney Olympics?
De Bruin.
Sorry?
Van Bruin.
No, it's Peter van Hoekenband. Which Sanskrit work is referred to as Adi Kavya, the first poem?
Rigveda.
No, it's the Ramayana. Which Sikh sect founded by Balak Singh got its name because its sole ritual is chanting God's name?
Nirankaris.
No, it's Namdhari. And at the end of your allotted time, Jai Jhende, I find you've scored 33 points with no passes. Thank you very much. And that concludes the quizzing part of this final of Mastermind India, to take a look at how they all fared up in that final. Let's turn one last time to the scoreboard. In fourth place with 31 points is the advertising executive, Ali Imran. In third place with 33 points is the business executive, Jai Jhende. In second place with 37 points is the civil servant, TK Manoj Kumar. But the winner of the title of the first mastermind of the millennium is the website editor from Delhi, K.E. Priyambada. And now for the crowning moment, it's time to give away the reward to the victor. I'm going to request our guest of honor, Kiran Bedi, to kindly say a few words and do the honors.
I think we've all witnessed an outstanding performance. The shortest amongst the four has won it. The shortest. Today she's the tallest, K. Priyambada. I think behind this brilliance has been tremendous hard work, tremendous training, tremendous dedication, and tremendous thirst for knowledge. May I call you, and I understand you're a police officer's daughter. Wonderful. K. Priyambada to take this trophy.
Congratulations then to Priyambada on several counts for becoming the second woman to become Mastermind India, for having notched up the highest score in a contest in the 3 years that we've been running this series, and for becoming the first Mastermind of the millennium. I'd like to also thank all our other finalists for having joined us on this forum and for having made a memorable fight of it, and for their fluent victories in their earlier rounds, and for having made it this far. Thank you for having made it a contest to remember. I'd particularly like to thank our guest of honor, Madam Kiran Bedi, for having taken time off from a busy schedule and for having joined us here to give away the trophy to the claimant to the title, and our thanks to Maharaja Gad Singh Ji for his gracious hospitality and generous support. Well, that's it then. We are through with our third series of Mastermind India. Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year. Till we meet again, goodbye.